Welcome to our in-depth exploration of global sentiments towards the United States. This is no ordinary listicle. We're diving deep into the complex web of international relations, cultural differences, and historical events that have shaped how the world sees the United States. From admiration to criticism, the perspectives are as diverse as the countries themselves. Some view the US as a beacon of freedom and opportunity, while others hold a less favorable view due to various factors. This video will focus on the top 5 countries with the most negative view of the US, unpacking the reasons behind these sentiments. Buckle up, and let's embark on this enlightening journey together. Have you ever wondered which countries have the most negative view of the US? As we traverse the globe, we find a spectrum of sentiments towards the United States shaped by a myriad of factors. In some corners, the US is seen as an emblem of freedom and opportunity, while in others, it's viewed through a less favorable lens. This perception is often influenced by myriad factors such as political relations. A country's alignment or discord with US policies can significantly shape its public opinion. Cultural differences also play a crucial role. The American way of life can be either admired or criticized, depending on how it aligns with local values and traditions. Then, we have historical events. Wars, treaties, diplomatic crises. They all leave indelible marks on how nations perceive each other. So, it's a complex tapestry of views we're looking at, each thread colored by unique experiences and perspectives. Now let's delve into the top 5 countries with the most negative view of the US. Starting the countdown at number 5, we have Iran. Iran's negative view of the United States isn't sudden or baseless. It's rooted in historical conflicts and exacerbated by ongoing political tensions. The US's imposition of sanctions has only further strained this relationship. The Iranian public's perception of the US is largely influenced by these factors, painting a less than favorable image. The long-standing political tensions have made Iran one of the countries with the most negative view of the US. Moving on to number 4, we find North Korea. This country's negative view of the US is deeply rooted. The US has been a frequent target of North Korea's nuclear threats, causing a great deal of tension. Economic sanctions imposed by the US have further strained relations. Furthermore, the stark ideological differences between the two nations, with North Korea's totalitarian regime contrasting sharply with America's democratic values, have only exacerbated the situation. The nuclear threats and ideological differences have fostered a strong negative perception of the US and North Korea. At number 3, we have Syria. The nation's perception of the US is largely negative, shaped by a complex tableau of historical factors. Key among these is the US's military intervention in the region, which, for many Syrians, has been a source of ongoing distress and uncertainty. Additionally, the country's civil war and political instability, which some Syrians feel the US has contributed to, further strain this international relationship. The military intervention and political instability have led Syria to hold a negative view of the US. Almost there at number 2, we have Venezuela. The relationship between the US and Venezuela has been marred by a series of economic sanctions, escalating political tensions, and stark ideological differences. The US's stance on oil, a major component of Venezuela's economy, has particularly fueled the animosity. These contentious issues have not only strained the diplomatic ties but also deeply affected the Venezuelan people's perception of the US. The economic sanctions and political tensions have made Venezuela one of the countries with a strong negative perception of the US. And the country with the most negative view of the US is, surprisingly, Russia. Now you might be wondering why Russia? Well, let's dive into it. It is no secret that Russia and the United States have been political rivals for decades, dating back to the Cold War era. This long-standing rivalry has been marked by a game of power and influence, with each nation striving to outdo the other on the global stage. However, the rivalry isn't just political. The rise of the digital age has brought about a new battleground: cyber warfare. Russia has been implicated in numerous cyber attacks targeting the United States, further straining their already tense relationship. And let's not forget the historical conflicts. These two nations have found themselves on opposing sides in various international conflicts that have only served to deepen their mutual distrust. In the end, it's the culmination of these factors, the political rivalry, the cyber warfare, and the historical conflicts that have led Russia to hold the most negative view of the US. To recap, the top 5 countries with the most negative view of the US are Iran, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, and Russia. Each country's perception is shaped by a unique blend of historical events, political ideologies, and current affairs. Iran's animosity stems primarily from past interventions, sanctions, and disagreements over nuclear programs. North Korea's isolationist policies and ideological differences with the US have led to a highly charged relationship. Syria's negative view is largely due to US involvement in the Syrian civil war and its stance on Assad's regime. Venezuela's political and economic crisis, coupled with US sanctions, have soured their view. Lastly, Russia's perception is influenced by geopolitical disputes, historical grudges, and allegations of election interference. Understanding these perceptions can provide valuable insight into global politics and international relations. Thank you for joining us on this journey around the globe, and until next time, keep questioning.